All right, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to this video. Today we're going to work on building just simple components with React. So here we go. So you're probably familiar with YouTube. When you upload a video to YouTube, um, one of the things you can do is add tags to it. And they have this simple thing with an input, and you add tags. It's like, oh, so what? But this is a cool little component. Very simple style, but it's got quite a few different things that it does. So this is where you can add tags. So super cool, and you know you keep adding as many tags as you want, um, like that, and then you can cancel a tag by clicking on it, or you can hit backspace and do that. You can enter tags. Um, you hit a comma, it automatically gives you a tag, or you can hit enter and it gives you a tag. So there's quite a few different things going on here. But I thought this was a cool thing to try to just look at the functionality it's got here and try to just make this component using React and see what we can come up with. So I'm going to use Code Sandbox, which is pretty cool. And you can create a React sandbox by clicking that. And it kind of gives you a setup already with React. I'm going to change this a little bit. So I'm going to get rid of this styles file first thing. And delete that real quick. And I'm going to close the browser. I'm going to open the browser and make it its own window. And then close the browser over here so we can see the code better. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the function. I'm going to use a class just to keep it simple. I don't want to teach hooks on top of. I want to focus on making this component and making it do what we want it to do. We'll just set up a basic React component right there. So first thing I want to do is take a look at the dependencies. So they also give you a package JSON. So they just give you, the basic React stuff. They set it all up for you though, so that's cool. So we're going to add a couple dependencies. And this is what I like about Code Sandbox. You can just really easily add dependencies. You can search them. So I want to use styled components. Right here, style components. Boom. Visual primitives for the component age. So if you're not familiar with that, you can check out their website. But you'll see how it applies. It's pretty cool. So bring that in. And so we needed this X icon. So I'm going to use a real icon. So I'm going to add one more dependency called styled icons. I'll bring that in too. All right, so one thing I want to do real quick, you can add a title by clicking up here. Let's call this tag tutorial. And I'm going to go to preferences. Under prettier settings, I'm going to get rid of, I've already got rid of semicolons. Perfect. Okay, so we're ready to go. So for state, we obviously need to keep track of the current tag, which is going to be a string, and the overall tags, which should be an array. So let's import a couple things real quick here. Import styled from styled components. And I also want to import a couple more things here from styled components, just to show you how it all works. Import something called theme provider, and also import something called create global style. Okay. And then that icon I talked about, the close icon, we're going to import that from styled icons, and that's going to look like this. You can also check out styled icons. They have a searchable. I might as well show you. Right here, I'll put this link in the video description, but you can search their whole. They have all these different icon collections. So material icons, icon moon, font awesome. So you can search all these things. So you search close, and there's that icon we're using right there. So you can click it and copy, but just so you know it's there. All right, so first thing I want to set up with this theme provider. I'll just say div for now. So let's first set up a couple of things here. We'll say make a plain object and call it a theme right now. And we're just going to say, define a couple variables here. Say gray is CCC. Let's say dark gray is AAA. And we'll just say width is 400 pixels. This is more or less just to show you how to use this theme provider. So down here, you put in a theme provider. Like so. And pass it a prop of theme. And that's going to be literally that theme. Okay, so why don't we, I'll show you how to use this style to build these style components. And what style components let you do is keep all your styles right within JavaScript. And I'll show you how that works. So just say, for example, we'll say class container equals styled.div and then backticks. So you can put, any of the different HTML elements you can use here, and I'll show you how we do a couple different ones. So this is our outer container that's going to kind of wrap the whole component, just to kind of center it. Really, is the only reason we're kind of doing this. So we're just going to make it full width and full height, with viewport width and viewport height being 100. Give it a display property of grid, and then justify items center. That's horizontally centering it, and then we'll align items center. That's our container. So we'll put that inside our theme provider. like so. And the next thing we want to do is put this tags component inside of that. And then we can actually have something over here. We don't have anything yet. So we'll say const tags also equals style.div. And set a width for that. And remember how I set this theme width of 400 pixels? That's just to show you how I'm going to use this theme in one of these style components. So to do that, remember this is just backtick, so this is just a string literal. So you can use the $ brackets to put any JavaScript you want inside of there. And since we have this theme provider with a theme wrapping everything, we now have this theme available to us, these variables in all these components. So what we can do is just a function real quick, props, say props theme width. It's like that. That's going to pass that down. So what we can also set on here is some more properties. I'm going to say display flex, flex wrap, set a border, 1 pixel, solid, and we're going to bring props in again. You can also you can do it with just a P if you want. You don't have to say props. Or you can even get even fancier and destructure it. You could say gray right here. You could do it like that too. Or actually, I think you would have to go, theme gray to properly destructure it, I want to say. But that doesn't have any height property on it yet. So why don't we just hold back on that? We'll just do it conventionally. Like that. And we'll give it some padding. 15 pixels, 10 pixels. And we'll pop. Another reason we didn't see it is because it wasn't actually in the UI yet. So we'll put tags down here, like so. Save it. And now at least we see the component starting. We have something, but look, we have a little overflow here. I thought we set our width and height to be 100, so that's a little annoying, right? How are we going to fix that? Let's fix that real quick. So this other thing I brought in was create global style. So right below our theme, let's work with that. So const, we'll call it global style equals create global style, backticks again. Inside of here, we can apply basically normal CSS that we would do if we put, say, a style tag in a head of a document. So we'll just say HTML and body, padding 0, margin 0. And then, this is why I wrapped everything in a div. So we can tuck in our global style right there, and then save that. And now we've gotten rid of any default padding, so there's no more scroll bars. And our component is centered perfectly for us. Yeah. Okay. Next thing. We need a input inside of our tags component. Okay, so let's build that. And we're going to call that tag input. And that's going to equal a styled dot div. No, it's a styled dot input. And let's put that inside of our tags component. Well, there's our tag input inside of our tags component right there. Yeah. All right, but that doesn't look right. We need to do some styling and put some settings on this tags component. Let's look at our YouTube one here. We need a placeholder. Okay. So here's what you can do that's cool with style components. You can put any normal, you can, type equals text, even though that's the default. You could put any normal property on here, placeholder. We could put on here. You do it like that, and you get your placeholder. But what's pretty cool about styled components, you can also do up here, extend this optionally, doing dot dot attrs or attributes. And you can make that a function of props and return object like that. So you need the parentheses and then the curly braces inside. That's going to return this object. And you can add attributes there, and then after that, do your backticks for your styling. So right here, we could just say type equals text. Remember, this is an object, so we have to do. This is not styles in here. This is literally attributes, whereas this is CSS type styling. We can say placeholder. What was it? Tags. E.g. Albert Einstein Flying Pig mashup. Albert Einstein Flying Pig mashup. Yes. Save that, and you can see that works. But we still got a problem. This doesn't look right. It's got an outline around it. We don't want that outline or border. It's cut off here. We can't see the whole thing. So we need to do some styling here. Okie dokie. So inside of our backticks, let us say order 0, outline 0, padding 0, and we'll say font size 13 pixels. Save that. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. That's looking a little bit better. We need the width, though. We've got a problem with the width. So we'll just say width is 100%. Now it fills up the container. So that looks right. That looks pretty good. So far, so good. Okay. Now we need to start working on the functions to add tags and whatnot. So first thing we want to do is come up with the onChange function. Of course, it takes the event. And then we can say that the value equals e.target, destructuring, of course, and then we can say this dot set state tag value. And of course, we can say, okay, the value here is going to be this dot state dot tag. Of course, we can shorten that up to just tag. Say on change this dot on change, and in our render here we'll just destructure our state. That way we can use it simpler inside the function here, inside the component rather. So now we've got that, that's wired up. But we also need to add tags when, for example, over here, you hit enter, you can add a tag. So we're going to need more than just an onChange function here. We're also going to need what's called an onKeyDown function. We're going to have to look at the onKeyDown event. And why don't we take a look at e.keycode. We'll just console log e.keycode. Don't forget, we got to put the onKeyDown function onto our component there. Save it. Now when we come over here, open up the console, get rid of any gibberish that's in there. Now we can get each key code. And if we hit enter, we can see that key code is 13. That's a good way to just look at your key code so you know which key code is what. So why don't we say we could also destructure this too. This is how we could destructure this. We could just say key code like that. Parentheses and then the curly braces will destructure that E to any property you want. We only really care about key code. So we can say if key code equals 13, now we got to do something. So we need to add our current tag into our tags array. First, why don't we destructure again and say, oh, const tag and tags equals this dot state, right? We can say tags dot push tag. And we can say this dot set state reset the tag to empty and just reset tags again now that we've pushed something into it. Okay, so that might add the tag in, but we're not showing the tags in the UI yet. So what we need to do is show the tags in the UI. And as you can see, they're going to appear before the input. So right here, in braces, we're going to say tags.map, and T is going to be the element, I is the index. And for each one of those, we're going to return a tag. We haven't made that yet. We're about to. So we'll say tag, give it a key. Just use I for the key for now. So let's make that tag component before we get any further. A const tag style.div tactics. And this is our tag. So we've got the text and we've got that close icon we need to put in there. So we want them side by side. So I think we're going to need some kind of flex going on here. So we'll say display is going to be inline dash flex. Whoa, inline flex. We'll say align items center. We'll copy this border right here. We'll give it a border radius of 3 pixels. Give it a padding of 0.25. Why don't we give it a padding of, say, 2.5 pixels. And then the padding left of 7.5 pixels. Margin right, 5 pixels. Margin bottom, 5 pixels. And then within the tag, we're going to have a span. And in that span is where we want the actual text to go. So that's T. The actual tag is going to go in there. And then we're going to pop close icon down below it. So we're going to have to do a little more styling. You're going to see why in a second here. Hello, enter. And we don't see our icon. Things don't look quite right. We're going to have to do some more styling. So first thing we want to do is take care of this close icon. And we can style that. Now we can just say SVG because that's what that icon is. And now since that's inside the tag, we can style it. We don't need to make a component for every element we make. We can nest them and style them like this. So we're going to say width of 14 pixels, height of 14 pixels, color is going to be a gray, and set cursor pointer on there as well. Save that. Now we've got our basic tag going, and that's going to conclude part one. That's about half an hour. This may be 2 parts, maybe 3 parts by the time we get through everything, but I think we're off to a good start. We learned how to set up the theme provider, global styles, how to use style components, get our theme going, and we're off to a good start. We got our on change and on key down. Of course, we've got some problems here. We need this to stay on the same line. This font, we need to bring in our own custom font. We got to make this placeholder disappear. We got to be able to delete tags. So there's quite a bit of functionality we still got to add, and that's going to be in the next part. So we'll see you then, hopefully. Peace.